Quack. Blackrock Harbor, also known as the City of Islands. As the name suggests, this sprawling port city is made up of 5 different islands who all come together as a collective to make decisions for the society as a whole. Cultural mixing, political intrigue, magic, technology, but most of all, storytelling is the heart and soul of this city. The people who come in and out, many who leave, many who stay, bring the heart and soul to the people around them. Most of all, the service workers, the fishermen, the boatswains, the deckhands, who make the city flourish. The people who first found the magical creatures of Blackrock Harbor, the Blackrock oysters. And within them, the blizzard gems that are procured. We start today's session in the large landscape that connects Blackrock Harbor to the mainland, Port Kerma, the financial district of much renowned society, high society. And we meet our intrepid hero. That'll be the only time I say intrepid hero in this, I promise. Today we are running the origin story of one of our wonderful adventures that will be joining us on this campaign. And our wonderful friend, BeatsByBecky, will be joining us. Becky, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm BeatsByBecky. I am a tabletop RPG streamer on Twitch. Been dipping my toes into some variety stuff, but mostly I am just a storyteller. And in this campaign, I will be playing Saoirse McCarthy, our lovely traumatized gnome.
Saoirse is living a very wonderful life right now. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Saoirse. Today is an important day for you as well. Today, you are out for your dress fitting. You're sitting upon a stool, small step stool, which is pretty tall for you as you are a gnome. So it's probably you're feeling very tall right now that you're not very used to, but any normal, average sized human elf or something like that would be just a couple steps up, but you're feeling tall, you're feeling powerful. And you're on your own for just a moment as the sizings are getting, you're getting pulled around in your body, your shoulders getting pushed and prodded, but things are quiet. You're in your own thoughts, and you think about how you got here. Tell us a little bit about how Saoirse grew up.
So, Saoirse grew up very comfortable. She comes from... The McCarthys are very old money. They were one of the founding families of Blackrock Harbor. One of the first, fishing companies and, expedition companies. And, over the decades and generations, they, outsourced their labor. So most of the McCarthys now are, living it up in luxury in the financial district. Saoirse does come from a bit of a broken home. Her parents split when she was just a baby. But she was raised by her father, who has always made her the priority. He is a local politician. He's a representative for unions. Fisher, it's a little bit of a touchy subject. So my father, Gregor, was the most recent president CEO of McCarthy's Fishing and Expeditions. However, he was usurped by my mother. Um, so uh, he basically like gave my mother Helene um, total control of the company in exchange for like child support and to live in our very gorgeous, expansive manor at the height of the financial district where I am still currently residing with my very handsome fiance, Jericho, and our beautiful, beautiful baby, Bonnie.
Memories of visiting Pequot Island, seeing all the fishermen who at first had been very distant with your father, thinking it was some kind of ploy, some kind of play, until they realized that he actually had their best interests at heart and had earned many rights for them and had fought for better working conditions and a better relationship between Pequot Island and Port Kerma. The work he had done for the just early years of his work were more than most had been able to do over the past few decades. While many of those worked for both sides and made working together just that much easier, there were some things on both sides, contingencies that were made that made some people not happy. But he always made sure that you were brought up with a smile on your face. Is your father still alive right now?
Yeah, he is currently waiting at home for me. He is babysitting Bonnie.
Yes, and you thought he loved you, but him with Bonnie, him with that little girl, he is putty in her hands, and you eat it up. You enjoy just seeing them together. And as you start thinking of your father and thinking of him with Bonnie, and then you think of this memory in your head that you have of just like the first time you and your wonderful Jericho walking into your father and Bonnie, just like rolling on the floor. He should not be rolling on the floor at his age, but it doesn't matter to him. And you start thinking of your wonderful husband. And as you do, you hear kind of in your ear, "Okay, hon, how do you think you look? I think the dress looks wonderful. How do you think?" And you kind of turn and you kind of just kick out of your little haze of memories, and you look in the mirror, and please tell us, what do you look like?
So, like I'd mentioned earlier, Saoirse is a gnome. She's got this mess of like thick curly black hair that it doesn't matter what oil she buys from the market. Like it's always frizzy. There's nothing she can do about it. And she has these like piercing blue eyes and this like little button nose. Her cheeks are pretty chiseled, and her like ears are her gnome ears are extra on a good day. Her ears are significantly disproportionate to the rest of her body. They're like the points are way out, but she does not like have any like insecurities about them. She currently has like little ear cuffs that kind of look like lace, but they're just solid gold. Just accenting her ginormous ears. She's got a bit of a dumpy. And she is just kind of looking in this mirror, just almost beside herself. It's gorgeous. It's truly gorgeous. Thank you.
Yes, gnomes classically known for their butts.
It's kind of dumpy.
Yes, but it is. I mean, as again, you grew up with money, and your dress sure shows it. You made your own though. You kind of look in yourself in the mirror, look at your frills, look at how beautiful your dress looks, and every once in a while, as always, sneaks in a little bit the imposter syndrome of you were born into this, sneaks in. You snap it away, you kick it away, you kind of just like wink it away, because you know you've earned this yourself. You're not just some socialite who grew up in the light. You are a very smart person in your own right. You've gained your own. What kind of education does Saoirse have?
So Saoirse was obviously brought up with like a primary education and a secondary education. She went through those motions, but she one core memory that Saoirse has is like just it's actually more of a series of like core memories. Like um growing up, her idea of like settling down, getting ready for bed is like just lying on the couch in her father's study as he's poring over like laws and like different policies, um, preparing for speeches and debates and protests, and just she remembers how passionate he was and how that passion was contagious. So she grew up wanting to be her dad. So when she was old enough, she had begged him to get like a tutor to like get her familiar with like the history of England, like politics, any legal knowledge that she could gain. And with that, she actually went to university to get a finance degree. Um, that was more of a like fallback for her, but because her passion is like politics. But it was at university where she met her very best friend, Fiona.
And you and Fiona were very, very good friends. Now, Fiona, I believe, was a half-orc who kind of had a little rough. Half-orcs weren't very typical in the school. They were typically seen, with their strong stature and everything, more as service workers, but Fiona grew up and earned her place there just as you did, and you two, again, hit it off just like right away. I believe Fiona is going to be the maid of honor at the wedding.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And has been with you in every second of the way, and as you're thinking of your meeting of her, she is just kind of sitting there, just like arms crossed, like leaning against the wall at your dress fitting, going, "Yeah, it looks pretty good, I guess. I mean, you can make anything look good, but that does look pretty good."
It really hugs the butt. I know that's not what it's about, but I'm very proud of it. Listen, I walk up a lot of stairs, and my tiny little legs make it very hard, but it does show that I'm putting the work in.
Yeah, you do the work. You're in that butt. Well, how many more of these do we have?
This is it.
Oh, thank God. You know I hate these things. Wait. That means I'm next, isn't it?
Well, you don't have to if you don't want to.
I mean, I would get... I've been asking you for weeks, and you've been telling me you'll let me know, do I get to wear a pantsuit?
Yes, you could wear a pantsuit.
Yes!
I was hoping maybe you'd change your mind, but I want you to be comfortable.
Thank you. I would be... Listen, we're gonna make it look good. I would just feel more comfortable in some kind of... You know, it shows off my physique better, like a dress fit shows off yours.
Oh, you gotta get those shoulders out in the spotlight. Your best feature.
Well, I mean, kind of looks around for a bit. She said she was gonna be here. Do you think she's ever gonna show up?
No.
Do you want to give her? Do you want to give her a couple minutes?
No.
No?
Honestly, I invited her to keep peace with the rest of the family. I'm kind of glad she didn't fucking come.
She knows how to get under your skin without even being here. Oi, fitting lady. And the lady who was fitting you earlier would say back, "Oh, yes, how can I help you?" I think she's done. We're good. Do you just tag it and bag it, or? How do you think it fits, my lady?
It's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
You look like a like an angel. You look wonderful. Yeah, we can, we can store it here if you'd like, or would you like to take it with you? It's up to you.
Let's store it here, and I'll come pick it up a few days before the wedding.
Of course.
I just don't want my toddler to have access to this.
Oh, the little tyke, I understand. Well, let's take a few moments. We'll get you undressed safely, and then you can be on your road. You can be ready to do whatever you need. We'll have it ready 2 days beforehand, just to make sure there's no any... Just kind of pause for a second. Last minute alterations that may need to be done, and we should be ready to go there.
Right, sure.
It takes a few minutes. It is a very intricate dress. So it does take a few minutes to get you out of it. You realize it does arch the back a little bit, so you kind of just like stretch it a little bit. You just roll the shoulders back. But at this point, you're ready to go. Is there anywhere else you would want to go on this? It's a chilly, like, early springtime day. It's winter has passed, but you're in early spring, so it's there's a little bit of a chill coming in from the water.
Okay, probably, well, Saoirse would probably take the long way home, just so she can have, like, a nice walk with her friend, and just kind of savor the day a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, you guys walk because you're in Port Kerma. It's where many of the markets and seamstresses and things like that are at. So you kind of walk the market, pick up a little bit of food, grab a lunch, catch up. You probably haven't seen each other as much as usual because you're, prepping for a wedding, as happens to wedding preppers. And you just kind of spend some time together until the night begins. As the sun begins to set, you realize that your father's had Bonnie for a very long time, and you're like, ooh, he might need a break. So you pick up like a little treat for her. What kind of would you pick her up? Like a toy, something to eat? What would you get for her?
Bonnie goes feral or cinnamon buns. Like any like sweet pastry, she would probably murder you for. So she, as Saoirse is picking up, she's probably picking up like one for her father and for Jericho as well. She's just like kind of smiling to herself, like picturing Bonnie just like toddling over. As soon as she recognizes the box from the bakery that she like frequents quite a bit.
As you pick up these cinnamon buns from the local place that you like to go to, called Delilah's. You like to walk in. You go, hey there, Delilah. You bring the wonderful pastries, and they come in like this little box that as soon as like she does this like ribbon tie that as soon as Bonnie sees, she's gonna just recognize the ribbon and probably be out the door before you even walk in. The smell just nice and sweet in your nose. There's like almost like a you think there's like a nougaty or like a nutmeggy smell to them as well. They're very interesting. They're very unique, and that's why you go there. You've probably been going there for years. And you begin to head home. Fiona kind of is like, yeah, I got to get myself home as well. Got some work in the morning. You need anything before I head out?
No, thank you so much for being you, and just being patient. And
I don't know how to be anybody else.
Thank God for that. I will see you very soon.
Yes, yeah, bring it in. And she comes in for a big hug. And she is much larger than this, so she just kind of just like engulfs you and just like, this is normal, and you're just like flailing your legs, and she lets you down. You go, oh, get home safe. I'm heading that way. And she heads towards her home, which is closer to the docks of Port Kerna. but still not, on it exactly. And you head home, which is very, very much in the heart of the expensive part of the area, as we call. While you're not in McCarthy Manor itself, you are in kind of like an estate that they own. You have your own little privacy area that your mother acquired for you guys, whether for your own sake to have your own privacy or to keep you out of your hair. You don't really care, but it's one of those two. Probably a little bit somewhere in the middle. Here, give me I believe it's still called this, a perception check, please.
Yeah, you're in luck because it is called that. It's gonna be a 17.
A 17. Sneaking in through the scent of your cinnamon buns that you just almost catch, just almost by accident. Something else catches your nose, and what is it? And you kind of just like put the cinnamon buns away from you and catch it, and you're like, oh, someone's having a bonfire tonight. That's interesting.
So interesting.
Mm-hmm. As you're heading home, it smells getting loud, like not louder. If a smell could get louder, the smell would get louder. So we're just gonna keep it to that. The smell's getting louder. It's more pungent. It's not a bonfire. Bonfires have like that charcoaly wooden smell. This is, and as you're trying to, this is, you see it. You see the fire coming from one of the homes on your block. What do you do?
I am fully sprinting. As
fast as your
little legs can carry me.
Are you hanging on to the cinnamon buns?
Yeah. There's still like
so you're just...
There's still like I just need to make sure like maybe like it's close. I don't know, but I need to get there. But also I did pay money for these.
So you rush, your brain saying, your brain honestly almost not processing. It's just like, oh God, I hope the neighbor's house is okay. Like I hope so. And you're a few blocks away, and you're rushing, and you're running. Brain just incapable of processing what may be happening. And as you turn the corner, you see it.
What do I see? What do I see? Duck. What is it?
As the fire begins, and it is burning, you see your home up in flames.
Music isn't fair.
It's 100% fair.
Now I drop the box.
Okay. Kush.
Like
Cinnamon
when you're saying
buns
the fire
sprayed across the floor. It is raging. There is a raging fire. The whole thing is up in flames.
Is there any opening into this house that doesn't look like it's covered by flame?
Give me a perception check.
Fuck, yeah, that's gonna be a 6.
Not that you can see, everything's is just up in smoke. Up in flames. Smoke is an understatement. Everything is up in flames right now.
Is there a water feature near me, like a pond, like a fountain? Like, do we have one in the front?
Roll me a straight d20. On a 1 through 10, no. On an 11 through 20, yes. There'll be a well. Not working. There's one probably a couple blocks away.
I'm gonna go and start pounding on the door of the closest house.
Mm-hmm. A few houses down, you pound on the door, and the door immediately opens. You see one of your neighbors, this dwarven couple, like middle-aged, though all dwarves seem middle-aged, right? But he kind of opens the door and goes, "Oh, Saoirse, we saw, we've already called the..."
Do you have a basin of water right now? Do you have...
I can get one, yes. Yes,
I need you to soak that blanket in that water right now.
Oh, okay. And he runs off. You see his like balding head just like and he comes back a few like moments later. Probably it seems like forever to you, but probably no more than a minute, with this soaked, just like probably the comforter he was using on his bed last night. He goes, "This is the best I could do."
Thank you. I'm gonna wrap that wet
What are you
blanket.
doing? We've called the... Oh, no. As you run off, just covered in this blanket.
I'm wrapping it around my body,
Mm-hmm.
and like above my nose,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going inside the house.
Okay, as you go in, please make me a fortitude save.
15.
15. You cover your mouth as this smoke is just piling through, trying to break through, but luckily using the blanket and covering it with the water, very smart idea. You're unable to make it through. It is warm in here. The blanket is immediately warming up. You can already feel it. You don't know how long you have in here. Everything is up. Everything is broken. There's broken glass on the floor. You're kind of in the foyer of your manor, and you barely recognize the place. You look up to a picture that had the three of you in it, that your father had commissioned, and it is no longer there. The frame that once held it is just kind of hanging crooked in front of you. What do you do?
Like, where I'm gonna go where my father would probably spend the most time with my daughter.
Probably in his study, even though he wasn't supposed to. You knew that, but probably in his study. You rush in there. Give me a perception check. Gonna be quite a few of these.
Love it. 18 for that perception.
18. You look around, you start like safely just like kicking things around, just moving things, because again, things are up and not looking great in here. This room's a little bit better. It looked like the door was shut, so the flames haven't fully spread in here, but you don't see anybody. There's no evidence that they were in here. There's no evidence that they weren't. But nobody is in here right now.
Check the nursery.
Okay. You head into the nursery, and you do see something, but not something that you were expecting to see. This almost bat-like looking red creature, sparking with flames, wings made out of total flames, sees you burst through, turns its head, this long, pointed, almost like a dagger-like nose, and you see it literally starting fires. And you see it just go... And I'm going to have you roll initiative. Initiative in this, I don't know if you have I don't know if it shows on the thing, but it actually uses perception.
Oh, okay.
15 on perception. Okay, let me roll it for him. 15. So you both got 15s. What's your perception mod?
+4.
+4. Okay, so we will say you go first. As this thing is probably about 10 to 15 feet away from you.
Okay.
The adrenaline is pumping through your veins right now. The heat is getting into your head. It's starting to feel a little blurry, and as it does, memories of your childhood begin to wander into your head strangely. Memories of you being out and about and playing, and bursts of wind making the leaves dance when you wanted to dance. A piece of paper falling exactly where you needed it to while caught in the wind, which somehow allowed you to meet your husband. And that feeling of something having your back, the wind at your back almost, goes from a calming presence to a tempest. and you feel the wind and the hot air around you at your command. What would you like to do on your turn?
Ooh, what would I like to do on my turn? I'm gonna cast. Well, She doesn't. Gale Blast
Okay.
is what's going to happen.
Please tell me what that spell does.
So wind flows from your outstretched hands and whirls around you in a 5-foot emanation.
Okay.
Each creature in the area takes bludgeoning damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier with a fortitude save.
Okay. So you run up to this thing feeling the wind basically at your beck and call, and you run towards this thing, and this tempest just surrounds you, bringing the heat up with it. And it will roll a fortitude save. Fortitude for a 10, which I don't think makes it, right?
My spell DC is a 17.
Okay, so that is a regular failure, so it's going to take damage equal to your, I believe, charisma mod, which is how much?
Charisma is plus 4.
Okay, so it takes 4 damage as the winds batter it. It catches some of the shards of like a broken chair that starts flying in the air and scratch it and goes, ah! It is now so that's 2 actions. You have 3 actions. Yeah, so you moved up to it, so you would have 1 more.
So I have intimidating glare as a 3 feet.
Basically, you don't have to share a language with it. You give it the mom glare. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna give it the mom glare, and I'm gonna try to intimidate this fucking thing.
So you're going to try to demoralize this creature. Please roll me an intimidation check.
Intimidation is plus 7. Watch it be a 1.
Not bad.
So a 16.
16, and it's against its will DC. This thing does have a will DC of 17, so you look at it, and it stares you right back down. It looks to almost waver for a moment, as the wind almost seems to be in your eyes as well. But you're also still getting used to this power, and you blink. It is now its turn. I'm going to see if this thing has an ability, because it will probably have used it recently. So we'll see. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit without that. It is going to use its first action to make kind of like a jab at you with its big pointy nose and just almost like take a bite out of you with it. Does an 18 hit?
I guess an 18 hits.
Okay, does have a +9 because it is a dexterity base. It's going to do 1 piercing and 1 fire damage.
Rude and disrespectful.
Okay, it is also going to try to make a daze attack at you, so I need a will save out of you. DC is 15.
That's going to be a 23.
That will definitely no longer work. And I think as long as you make it... Yeah, it does nothing when you... It doesn't work, and that is a 2-action spell. So... Oh, was that spell that you cast earlier? It was probably 2 actions, wasn't it?
It was, and then I did the intimidating glare.
There was a move action as well, though, because it was within 5 feet.
You're
good.
Saoirse wouldn't back down.
You're
she can't find her kid.
The fact that that it didn't work actually worked out anyway, because we did too many actions. And look, we learned. Okay, it is now back to your turn.
Okay. Saoirse is pissed.
Yes.
She's scared.
Yes.
She's annoyed. This thing is gross looking. And like kind of like in a response to like this thing actually coming at her. Like this is the first time she's ever been really in any danger in her entire
Hmm.
life. Um the energy that like emits from her um is going to be in the form of the spell Horizon Thunder Spear.
Okay. What are we doing? What happens?
So you gather magical energy into your palm, forming a concentrated ball of electricity that crackles and rumbles like impossibly distant thunder. Make How far away is this thing?
It's probably on you right now. Like you're up
Oh,
against
oh,
it because
never.
you cast that spell that had a 5 foot emanation.
I take. I would probably take like. I would probably roll a disadvantage then if I'm rolling a ranged spell and he's on me.
No, there is no penalty for firing into melee. There are chances if they can make attacks of opportunity that they can do that to you if you make an attack in front of them. But there is nothing that I can see, and if we're wrong, I'll look it up and find it later, that would cause it. So,
All right. You gather magical energy into your palm, forming a concentrated ball of electricity that crackles and rumbles like impossibly distant thunder. Make a ranged spell attack, roll against your target's AC. On a success, you deal 3d6 electricity damage, and on a critical success, the target takes double damage and is dazed for 1 round.
nice. Okay, roll me that attack.
It's gonna be a +7. So a dirty 20.
Okay, that'll definitely hit. Roll me damage. I think you may just have to click it 3 times. 12, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what does this look like? What does this look like as Saoirse just channels this pure energy?
Um, like I said before, she's pissed, she's scared, she's frustrated, because of course this would happen before her wedding, and also her fucking kid is missing. um, and then this thing that is setting her home on fire has the audacity to try to take a chomp out of her, out of this little baby bride here. Um, so and she's scared. This is the first time she's ever been in danger. So like when that thing like gets close to her like that, um, she just like puts her hands up defensively and like from her hand forms this like foggy ball of like crackling energy. It looks like lightning, and she just projects it towards this thing.
Yeah, it's coming in on the offensive. It almost doesn't expect this coming from you. You don't seem like any kind of like mage or anything. It's kind of acting on instinct though, and it doesn't like that. The jolt comes out and just almost hits it like right in the head, and it like catches itself though. It is its. Oh, sorry. You have one more action. Is there anything you would like to do with the action? It is still up.
I'm gonna see if this thing speaks common. Where the fuck did you come from?
Give me a charisma check. See if it.
Just like a flat
understands you.
charisma check?
Yep, just a flat charisma.
Okay, 17.
17. You can see that as you like make your intentions known, even without, if not for the words, like your feeling and what you want, it kind of just it gives you like this look, and it kind of like looks sideways for a second, it catches itself, and you see laying on the floor under the baby's crib, you see a burning book, an open book, and these flames are different Everything else is up, burning orange, this deep heat. This flame coming out is almost purple. Does not seem natural. But almost as soon as you take a look, you realize that this thing is coming back in for you, and you have to focus back up on this thing attacking you. But you do notice that.
Okay.
It still doesn't have it because it rolled really bad on that d4. It is, once again, it's going to try to daze you first this time. So I need you to make a will save for me, please. That's a 1. That is a critical fail.
No.
So, what's a critical fail do? Okay, so you're gonna take some damage. You take damage equal to its spellcasting modifier, which I believe is charisma. Okay, so you're gonna take 2 fire damage. You are also stunned 1. So you're going to lose 1 of your actions. So you will only have 2 actions at the start of your next turn. It's also, again, going to come in and try to just take like a swipe with its claws at you. This time. I'm thinking that's going to hit. Where's this to hit? There it is. 23 to hit.
Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, it hits.
You have more HP than you're used to. Don't worry. You're fine.
I do not have more HP than I'm used to.
Like, for a level 1 character, I'm saying. So you're going to take 1 pierce, we'll say slashing damage. Not going to change the difference. And 2 fire damage as this thing just kind of catches the blanket and slashes, like, gets a little slash across your arm, and then the blanket just goes and, like, burns up on you a little bit. Okay. Level 1 from the game you're used to playing would be dead right now.
It's true. That I'll give you that, Pathfinder. Okay.
Okay, it is now your turn, and at the top of initiative for this round, I am going to ask you to make a dex saving. Reflex save.
Okay.
DC is going to be 13.
Well, that's going to be a 19.
Okay. This thing's also going to make a reflex save. We're going to double damage on that. 6. Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay. As you begin, like, this thing kind of slashes into you and you fall backwards. It's a good thing that you did fall backwards and it kind of, like, leaned into you, because as you did, one of the pillars from up above on the ceiling just comes crashing down and hits this thing in the shoulder, and it hits the ground hard. It kind of just, like it pushes it off, but you see it's almost like fading, like it's almost smoking, and it seems to be losing some of its corporeal form. It's your turn. Again, you have 2 actions this turn.
I'm going to leave the room.
Okay, you're going to run away? Okay.
Yeah, I'm running away.
Okay.
Do I have time to search more rooms?
Yeah, it's not collapsing, but I mean it's starting to fall apart. You have some time.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna search, like, the room that Jericho and I share.
Okay, you're gonna go to the master bedroom, which obviously is connected to the baby's room, as any good parents would do. You run into the room, and there are these flaming, like, slug-looking creatures all over your bed, just consuming. It doesn't even seem like it doesn't seem like the fire is almost raging in here. It's almost like this fire is consuming the things. Like your bed is being disintegrated, and it almost seems like these things are feeding on it.
I'm gonna back out. Gross. I'm just gonna start calling for my father.
Okay. You calling out for your father, and his the raging fire, which we can now hear without music, perfect timing. The raging fire almost choking your lungs, the smoke getting in. You go. Give me a fortitude save, please.
18.
18. You catch your breath. You get the smokes. You get low under the smoke that is starting to build up. And you see another on the other side of the room, a set of stairs crumble. We'll say that's your turn. Let's find out if this guy cares. Is he gonna come for the thing that showed up, or is he gonna come after you? Low, he's gonna come after you. High, he's not going to. Okay. So for right now, it seems content doing whatever it is doing in Bonnie's room. It is your turn.
Oh, I'm feeling so petty, but I really hate that this thing is in my daughter's room, destroying it. Like, it's this feeling of, like, invasiveness. Like, this is the place where she's supposed to feel safest, and here this fucking thing is setting everything on fire. But what's, like, wrangling her in are her injuries, and also Bonnie's not there.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter. They're all things that can be replaced. I'm just gonna start opening doors.
Okay.
And just peeking in, not necessarily like searching the room, but just peeking in and seeing what I can.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Ooh, 10.
10. You start opening up a few doors here and there. It's the smoke starting to inhale, like really get into your lungs. It's making it hard to breathe, hard to move. You're crawling on the floor to get out of some of these smoky areas. You're like, I gotta check in here, and you realize this is a closet. What the fuck am I doing? You check. You end up checking the bathroom. Just the only thing that's hoping is you're hoping that they got out, because so far you do not see any evidence of them being in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I can't do anymore. I don't think
Okay.
I'd make it if I stayed.
Okay. Give me one more fortitude save. These are getting more and more difficult the more you make.
22.
But you are making them. You just start barreling your way through pure adrenaline. The air somehow just like inherently trying to keep the smoke away from you, almost like an armor around you, breezing it away, letting you get out, and you burst out of the broken through doorway that has already been taken down, and you kind of just sit there for a moment, get your breath, and as you turn around, you just see different parts of the building just falling. And after a couple minutes, you see that neighbor whose door you knocked on come running up with the fire squad, who are magical people who are able to take this, control water, basically, elemental practitioners of water, and put this fire out. But the damage has been done. The house is ruined to complete disrepair. What are you doing while they put it out? A couple people check on you. They're kind of like, ma'am, are you okay?
She is checked out. She is fully disassociating, but clinging on to some hope. Like maybe they got somewhere, even though like it's very clear that there is not an inch of space in this home that was untouched by this fire. But like, she can't process the reality, so she is clinging on to hope that maybe I just couldn't get there, but they're safe somewhere. So she's gonna wait to see what happens with the fire brigade.
Okay. You sit out there for a moment. few minutes, hours, days for all you care go by. It's all a blur at this moment, but the fire is eventually put out. Again, the house is just in disrepair. People come up to you, give you like glasses of water, try to clear your lungs out, try to tell you to take deep breaths. The air seems, you've never felt so, you feel out of it yourself, but you feel just so connected to the air around you as well. Something's been unlocked in you during this struggle. And you kind of like look up and take a deep breath. And you see above you. And you kind of look around and realize it is a moonless night. There is no moon in the sky.
So the fire's put out.
The fire's put out. The neighbor offers to allow you to stay with them if you need to, if you need somewhere to stay.
Saoirse's not going to even, like, acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to get up, and she's going to start searching the remains of this structure.
Great. Give me a perception check, please.
9.
9. You look everywhere. You realize that there's a like a basement, a shelter that you didn't check. Maybe they ran in there, and you look in there, and the fire even got in there a little bit. The only evidence of anybody from that house that you find is in the basement, and it's your father's cane. For the most part, untouched by the fire, some scorch marks on it. That's about it.
I do one more
Yeah,
perception
one more check. Yeah.
To search this. God damn it. 7. It's even worse.
Well, the reason it didn't work this well is you're doing the thing where, like, I've checked here, but I'm going to check it again. That, like, when something's lost, right? You're like, I put it here, but you're like, my family was here, and you keep checking the same places that you've already looked. And as you keep looking, you see somebody puts their hand on your shoulder, and you turn around, and somebody you don't recognize them really. I mean, everybody is tall to you, really, but it's this tall elf, tall even for an elf. Green, like deep green robes, and a like braided brown hair along the sides put into a little bun. They're male, and very like very pointed features to them, very like pointed nose. And he kind of just looks at you. He says, "Ma'am, we need you to come with us.
Fuck, I am.
We need to ask you a few questions."
Don't give a fuck if you have one question or 100 questions. Do you think now is the time?
I understand.
I know where you're from. I know where you're from.
Please don't make us have to do this by force.
You can fucking touch me again. We're gonna have a problem.
He kind of just looks. I need you to make an opposed grapple check, so you can use athletics or acrobatics. And they will have to use athletics. Ooh.
It's gonna be athletics. 19.
19. So they try to put your hands behind your back, and you just like whip them out. You're making a bit of a scene.
I would like to cast Buffeting Winds.
Okay. As you go to cast the spell, The winds betray you as you feel the magic go in, and as you try to enforce it like you have been, it fizzles out on you, and you're like, it's the adrenaline. What the? And you realize that the man in the robes is kind of just staring at you and says, I didn't want to have to do this. Make me a will save, please.
16.
16. You feel yourself enraged. This power that you just had at your hands, he just took away for a moment, and you feel yourself about to charge at him, but then feel yourself fall unconscious.
Right.
We're going to cut to the next day when you wake up, sore, feels like a hangover. You're shackled. And whatever these shackles are, they seem to be enchanted that you can't use your newfound magic. Different than what happened yesterday, where it seemed like he stopped it. This is just breaking off your connection to whatever this new power was to you. You're sitting in a chair with the table in front of you, light right in your eyes. Very much not nicer guy is in front of you right now. Human. Has like this, is kind of like a patchy beard about him. Probably just hasn't shaved in a couple days. And he's got his hands like kind of folded, just like cracking his knuckles, annoyed, not like aggressively, but just like annoyed. He says, "Are you finally ready to talk to us?"
Did you finally do your jobs? Did you search for my family?
The investigation's ongoing, but we need to ask you about the fire.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about the investigation at the moment. I need to know if remains were found.
At the moment, no remains have been found, no. We've done multiple searches like you asked. But so far, there's been no evidence of where the cause of the fire was, what caused it. The only thing that we have in front of us is an unknown spellcaster walking out of the fire. How long have you had the magical abilities?
Just happened. I've never been able to do this.
Ms. McCarthy, you may need to consider the fact that you're he kind of like pauses and tries to find the right words to say, if not the perfect words to say. Sometimes when there's arcane abilities in a bloodline, they come out unexpectedly. And you may need to consider the fact that you caused the fire.
Didn't cause the fucking fire. I wasn't even home when it started.
Where were you when the fire started?
Walking home. But before that, I had a dress fitting. I stopped at Delilah's bakery. I picked up cinnamon buns. I was walking home. And I smelled the smoke. And then when I finally got to my home, it was engulfed.
Okay, see? Now you're working with us.
Because I'm not going to be slandered.
We walked there and you attacked multiple people who were trying to ask you questions. We had to do what we had to do. I am sorry about what's going on.
Multiple people?
Yes,
Okay, it was one person. One person I juked from the cuffs and I pushed around maybe. But
and then you tried to cast a spell at the people trying to help.
I tried to cast a spell at the man who tried to put me in handcuffs. After, coming home and finding my house fully engulfed in flames, and, after being attacked by some winged fire bird. It wasn't really a bird. It was more like a little nymph. I don't fucking know.
Looked kind of like a
little.
Looked kind of like a bat.
Kind of, but with a really long nose. Like it tried to chomp me.
Yeah. They're called mephits. Elemental beings probably showed up to get a little snack. They show up with large fires, those types.
So they show up too. They don't cause them?
They can cause them, but we don't often... They're usually taken care of before they start anything. Usually they'll show up during one and they'll be able to hide inside it. Oh. We haven't had any reports of any mephits in the area.
What would the circumstances be for them to start a fire?
Oftentimes they'll find a little spark and get a little carried away.
What would bring them?
Many things. They can be summoned. They can be... I mean, they exist. Sometimes there's cracks in the elemental planes that they kind of either slip through, fall through.
And who would cast? Who would summon a mephit?
A mephit? I mean, casters use them as familiars often. I mean, back in the day, we had a couple arsonists that summoned a few of them. We had water problems a few years back. Nothing that I could really... there's no one reason why people would do it. Some people use it for good, some people use it for evil, some people just use it to learn.
What would... So let's say I were to summon a mephit. What would it look like? How would I do it?
I'm not at liberty to tell you that.
That's convenient.
You're literally locked up to not use your magical abilities right now. I'm not going to teach.
Your job is to literally gatekeep magic.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm done with your questions. Until you can bring me information about my family.
I can understand that. You're no longer being held. You'll be free to go. We'll let you. We'll release the cuffs. You're now considered and registered as a magic user in the city. Behave yourself.
No. And I'm gonna get up and leave.
Okay. What do the next couple weeks look like for Saoirse?
Saoirse's literally like camping out in front of her house, or what was her house, waiting for any news, like even trying to get into the Rebel itself herself to search, but she's usually being like grabbed by the back of the shirt and just dragged away. She has avoided telling Fiona about all of this just because she doesn't know how to like communicate this, because in she's gaslighting herself in that like this is a me problem. I don't need to have other people worried about me, especially like those who have their own stuff going on, and it's like it's gonna be fine. They're gonna find something. Like they probably got out, but it's fine. So it takes a couple of days, but eventually word gets out, and Fiona just finds out.
Yeah, she comes in, just immediately engulfs you in the hug. Your feet don't kick; they kind of just last there, and she feels like she's used to getting kicked like right in the gut as she hugs you, and just you can feel her shoulders slump as that happens. She just says, "I'm so sorry."
I'm too.
What?
I think.
What happened?
I'm sorry.
That's fine. What happened? There's There's so many things going around. What happened?
I came home and it was fully engulfed. I went to the neighbors, I got a wet blanket and I went in.
You went into the burning... Oh,
My
thank God
daughter.
you're okay.
I don't... No one's found anything. No one has found any remains. My father, Jericho, my daughter, they're gone. And there was a fucking fire nymph. I don't even fucking know what it's called. And she's just gonna start crying now that, like, she's in the presence of her friend. She's just gonna absolutely lose it.
Listen, why don't you stay with me for right now? We got an extra room. Have you been sleeping out on the... You smell like you've been sleeping outside of this house. Have you been sleeping outside of this house? Saoirse.
I don't feel right being comfortable not knowing what happened to my child. I don't... maybe I'm punishing myself. I don't know.
Probably.
But I think, speaking of punishment, would you like to go on a field trip with me?
She kind of like gives you a concerned look for a moment. Where to?
We're gonna go visit my mother.
Do you think she has something to do with this?
If I was a betting gal, which I am and I'm very bad at, but yes, yeah, I would wager that she has something to do with this. Also, what's been going around?
Just that there was the fire and nobody knows what caused it. Now you can cast magic and...
Oh yeah, I can sometimes do that. The wind is a little tricky.
The wind?
It's a long story, and she on the way to her mother's, she will fill Fiona in on all of the details.
Yeah, you have full control of like wind tricks now. Like
okay.
whatever. Yeah, what you realize is the man had to have did something to your ability to it.
All right.
He had stopped your ability to cast in some way.
But
yeah.
Where does my mother live?
She lives in the very, very dainty hoity-toity area. One of the highest areas. One of the most sprawling estates of the port.
Is she at McCarthy Manor? Like the OG McCarthy Manor?
She is at OG McCarthy Manor.
That bitch.
And she, you guys are... I mean, they have like guards stationed, right? It's that hoity-toity. But they recognize you. They do give like a look because you don't look great right now. And you're allowed in. You open the door, and her butler is there. Somebody that you shared many memories with. A halfling gentleman, I believe they're still called halflings, right? Yeah, a halfling gentleman. Goes, yes, Miss Saoirse, welcome back. He's got like the monk haircut, like the balding in the middle, and just like white hair along the sides, and this long bushy white mustache. That like he obviously like the tips aren't as gray, and you're like he only dyes the tip of his mustache, but he makes it work. Like it looks very interesting, and it's something that he's like not known for, but you know about him that he has this like brown spot right on the tip of his mustache that bushes out like this. He's like,
okay. And what is his name?
His name is Minfred.
Minfred. Right. Hi, Minfred. Is Helene available?
Yes, Mistress McCarthy is in a meeting at the moment, but I will get her to come down at her soonest availability.
No, I almost died in a fire. I would love for her to actually view that as the emergency it is.
We did hear about the fire. We are very sorry.
I'm so glad, Winford. I'm so glad. Okay. And she's just actually going to
He goes, no, Miss, oh. And he kind of just, the last thing you hear from behind you is Fiona going, oh, you fucked up. So you storm into your mother's office, as she seems to be having a discussion with 4 other people who you probably have seen in passing, just, profiters and other members of society that she'd be talking money and finances and such with. She goes, yeah, so we have seen great uptake, and he just, oh, hello, Shasha. I'm so sorry. I heard about everything. Could you please just give us what? Please, could we have the room, please? Thank you. And the 4 other people kind of just like get up and they kind of like give her a nod and leave the room, and she goes, please shut the door. She's saying it to you.
I'm gonna use my newfound wind magic to slam it as hard as I can and as loudly.
She looks very surprised. Oh. I'm glad to see that you're okay.
Oh, fuck you. You knew, and you've known for days, and I had to fucking come to you.
Yes, I've had many things to deal with. Yes, I've had to deal with the fact that one of the buildings owned by us burnt down. I've had to deal with the fact that my daughter was arrested and I had to bail her out. Yes.
I was free to go. I was free to go. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't get free to go from being arrested without paying something.
You want money? I'll pay you back.
I said no such thing. But you're going to walk in here and act like I've done nothing, and I've done nothing but try to help. I am sorry I was not able to walk over there, but I've been dealing with crises here as well.
Can you see where my house was from the window in this office?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, I actually don't fucking care what you've been up to. I never do, and I never will. Except for this one evening in particular. What were you doing the other night? Well, 2 nights ago, I guess, at this point. Or no, it would still be the night before, right?
It was a couple nights away, yeah.
Okay.
It's all felt like a blur, too. Like, this is very much method acting, but...
Right,
the night of the fire?
Yes.
I was here. That's a lie, I was at the docks. What night was that? I was either here or at the docks. I was one of those 2 places this week.
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. I was at the docks that night. We were doing some checks. I wasn't even on the island. Are you accusing me?
Well, I like to keep track of the monsters in my life. Because apparently I have those now.
You walk in here with some newfound magic and you think I'm the one who did it. From what I heard from the authorities, it may have been you.
Can I use my magic to push her against the wall? Not trying to, hurt her.
No, you're
just
good.
Trying to hold her.
Yeah, just kind of push. Yeah, I'll give her a save on that, but yeah. Sorry, I just learned something. What's your spell save DC?
My 17 is my spell
17? Yeah, I would say you give her a push, but it doesn't slam her up against the wall, but she does hit it and
And I'm gonna climb up on this little board meeting table, and I'm gonna start walking across it towards her.
Okay. She stares at you. Give me a... What did we call that? A demoralize. So make an intimidation check. I will say she has a decent will save, though.
That'll be a 24.
24. Yeah, so you storm across and showcase this new magic of yours, and you see her slump a little bit. face, like kind of like has her tongue like in her bottom lip, trying to hold a tough look on you.
I'm gonna like literally get as close as I can, and still I'm like standing on the table so that I'm taller. What's the first thing you think of when you hear the word emergency?
Solving it.
Fucking wrong. Try again. And think like a person with human emotion, well, with emotions, and not like you are trying to do damage control. Emergency.
What would you like me to say?
Fucking fire! Fire is an emergency. And then when you hear that they can't find any fucking bodies in the rubble, you know, the man who raised the child you abandoned and then neglected, that child's partner and your grandchild, those people are missing. You don't think to check on your daughter at all.
I was going to. I didn't get the chance to yet.
You drop everything in an emergency. You drop everything.
If you say so.
So, I want you to tell me in detail what you were doing at the fucking docks. I know you gave me a bullshit answer, but I want a real one.
Yeah, we were doing. It was 2 nights ago. Was our monthly check on the docks to make sure everything was up to code, to make sure the union doesn't come after us.
Now, with like my experience with the union, like with my dad, I'm sure they would know that that is taking place. Like, so would I know if that is in fact the night that they were doing their
Give me a lore check. You can add your proficiency bonus to it.
Okay. Ooh, so that's gonna be a 12.
12. It makes sense that it may have been that night. It's about
Okay.
that time of the month.
And who were you with?
The head of the union and about 3 other dock workers, because they were complaining about some of the nets getting frayed.
All right.
Sometimes a fire's just a fire. Don't go on some conspiracy.
Then where are they? Where are the bodies?
I don't know. But doing that to yourself is not going to do you any good.
See, here's where there's a bit of a, sorry. Still have a little bit of fucking smoke in my lungs. Thanks for checking in, by the way. Here's the difference between you and I, where... And you know, I don't understand, because when I found out that I was expecting Bonnie, I was terrified. Terrified. Because what do I know about being a mother? It's not like I had one. But it turns out you're actually born with the instincts. With that love. So, you know, I'm fine. You're the one that was born fucking broken. I just wanted to remind you of that.
Thank you so much.
Oh. And, when was the last time you talked to my dad?
3 weeks ago, probably about a month ago.
About what?
Helping finance your wedding.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming to the dress fitting. Oh, it was so nice, it meant the world.
Yeah, unfortunately I was stuck over at Pequod Island much longer than I expected. I do apologize. But the union and everything, we gotta make sure that they're happy.
Do I know if she actually, like, does she work more here, like, in the financial district?
She travels. She'll go out.
Okay.
She'll go out there for the checks because there have been issues where she didn't do the check and somebody was wrong, and she is very much as she is a, you know, give credit where credit. She will do the work, right? She does do the work for work. She didn't do the work for parenting, in your mind, but she did. She has always done the work for work.
Wasn't you, was it?
No.
God, I really wish it was.
For your sake, I almost wish it was too.
My sake.
I have a feeling you're about to go down a very bad rabbit hole.
Oh, it's not a rabbit hole. It's a sinkhole. And I'm gonna do my best to drag you down with me, because here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna hire some investigators.
I already have.
No, you didn't.
She literally, like, pulls out a contract.
Yeah, I snatch it. Even though she's, like, probably, like, really giving it to me, I just snatch it right out of her hands. What is the name on this?
I mean, reading it over, it seems like a regular looking contract to contract a team of private investigators called Private Eye Tyrant Investigations. And there's just like this one large like eye in the middle as like almost like a logo that has been signed by your mother. That they will be investigating a fire that took place on the third week of shucking season, which was when the fire in your house took place. She says, you may think that I'm some monster in your life, that I don't do the things that you want me to do, I don't parent the way you want me to, but I do what I can.
Oh. You're right. You don't parent the way that I want you to parent, because you were never there to parent to begin with. Interesting. This is interesting to me. I suppose I'll come find you if I need something. And I hate saying that, but I'm sure I will.
Are you that hell-bent on looking into this on your own?
I don't want you to touch this.
Okay, well, the only kind of information that they had is they were going to look in something on Coral Helix Island.
And which island is that?
That is the casino transportation island that is totally not the underbelly of the city.
Okay.
They weren't sure if there was anything even there, but if there was anywhere that nobody could find anything about, that's where they were going to go do some looking to see if there was anything that people weren't talking about.
You are more useful than I thought you could be.
I tend to get that a lot.
Trying to... So, there's always something in it for you, though. There always is. So what's in it for you with this investigation? Like, why?
Answers. I don't want to see you go down this sinkhole. As much as you may think that I am some horrible person and terrible parent, that's fine. But if you're gonna go down that sinkhole, I'm at least gonna get you started.
Alright, well, I'm not gonna like you after this if that was your goal.
I don't expect you to.
Great. Uh, as always, fuck you. And she's gonna leave.
Give me a perception check.
Did that roll? I think it did because it was.
Yeah, it was the 2.
6.
Yeah,
Okay.
6. Okay. No. Okay. You find yourself on a boat making your way towards the Cora Helix Island. And that's where we're going to pick up on our first session.
Ooh. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. I'm so invested.
Anybody who is catching this on YouTube and has not checked it out, we will be running this campaign on Tuesdays at the link below, but it's also, if you're an auditory fan, it is at twitch.tv/Duckberg on Tuesday nights, starting at 8 o'clock, where we will have our wonderful Becky here, Saoirse, whose name I am getting better and better at pronouncing every time I say it.
Incredible, much better.
We'll be joined with our other wonderful friend, who will have another video posted on this channel, LatteLexa, and they will be exploring this world, the city of Blackrock Harbor, finding out the ins and outs and things going on. Is there anything you would like to say before we sign off, Becky?
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitch at BeatsByBecky, where I also run some silly little stories. Yeah, that's about it.
Well, until hopefully we see you next time, we'll see you around. Love you all very much, and have a wonderful night.
Bye.
Bye.